Hey guys, how's it going? Today I'm going to be talking about my thoughts on the upcoming fight between Daniel Dubois and Joyce that's supposed to be happening later this year. The date I'm hearing for the fight is October 23rd. Let's hope it goes ahead on October 23rd. I don't think it's quite official yet due to they're not being sure if they're going to be able to get crowds in for the fight and stuff like that. Both of these two fighters have had stay busy fights while the pandemic's been going on. Dubois fought last night against late replacement Snyders. He knocked Snyders out in the second round in what was a very easy win. Joyce fought about a month ago. He also won by knockout. Let's hope the next time these two guys face each other, the next time these two guys are in the ring, they're facing each other. Let's talk a little bit about the two fighters. Daniel Dubois, he's the younger, faster, more explosive of the two fighters. It seems to have the bigger punch out of the two as well. Due to him having such a big punch and having a lot of early one-punch knockouts, he's getting more hype out of the two fighters. He hasn't really faced anyone of a decent standard yet, other than maybe Nathan Gorman, who looks to be quite a talented young fighter, but he is still young and inexperienced, and we're not sure how good he's going to turn out to be. However, there were quite a few people picking Gorman to beat Dubois in that fight, and Dubois looked really good in that fight. He won probably every round, and he won by knockout. Joyce, he's quite a lot older than Daniel Dubois. He turned pro late, he got into boxing late, but since he's turned pro, he's been on the fast track. He's been in there with guys like Bryant Jennings and Bowman Stevern already. He beat both of them. He went to the Olympics. He won a silver medal at the Olympics. He's faced guys like Filip Hrgovic and Alexander Usyk in the amateurs, in the World Boxing Amateur Super Series, I think it's called, which is similar to the pros. You fight more rounds, no headgear, smaller gloves. So I'd say Joyce, he's been in there with the better opposition so far, and he's the more experienced of the two fighters going into this fight. Joyce often gets slagged off online because he's very slow and he's easy to hit and he looks clumsy in there. He is all of those things, but at the same time he showed that he can take a really good shot. He has a very good chin, very good stamina by the looks of things, and for heavyweight he can throw a lot of punches. It also looks like he has decent power. I don't think he's the biggest puncher around, but he has heavy hands and he stops most of his opponents. So in my eyes, this is a very close, tough fight to pick. I think it's a near 50-50 fight. Even though I'm seeing online a lot of people are picking Daniel Dubois to win easily and to win by early knockout. That's a possibility when you got power like him. And Daniel Dubois, he has a really good right hand and a good jab. With Joyce being a slow starter and easy to hit, it's possible he walks onto one of those big right hands from Daniel Dubois and the fight ends early. However, I think that won't be the case. I think Joyce is going to respect Dubois' power. He's going to be a little bit more cautious than usual. I think he's going to try and take Daniel Dubois past 6 rounds into the deep waters, where I think he's going to have the advantage late in the fight due to him having already been 12 rounds and having good stamina. So I think this is going to be a more tricky fight than the public perception. Dubois has never been in there with a guy that's quite as big as Joyce either. Joyce might be able to impose himself on Daniel Dubois if he can take his power, and I believe Joyce is going to be able to take Dubois' power and take the fight into the later rounds, where I think he's going to have the advantage. And I think I'm leaning at the moment towards Joyce by either late stoppage or by a close points victory. Although I'll admit, if it goes to the cards, I think Joyce will struggle to get the decision. As we've seen, they're really trying hard to push Joyce they're trying hard to push Daniel Dubois as the next big star. So I think Joyce is probably really got to push for the stoppage in this fight. I think he can get the stoppage late in the fight. I think it might be a fight of two halves, where early in the fight, Dubois is looking good. Dubois landing the cleaner, harder shots. I think Joe Joyce is going to be able to survive the early rounds and handle Daniel Dubois' power. I think once it goes past 6, the fight's going to shift into Joe Joyce's favor. He's been 12 rounds before. He's the fitter guy. He's a high volume puncher. He's a bigger guy. So I think that's how the fight's going to play out. It's a fight of two halves. The fight ends early. I favor Dubois to win it if it ends early. If it goes past 6 rounds, I favor Joe Joyce. If I had a gun to put to my head and I had to pick a winner, like I say, I'm leaning to Joe Joyce at the moment. Fortunately, I'm not in that position with a gun to my head, because this really is a tough fight for me to pick. But I am leaning towards Joe Joyce. I see Joe Joyce is a plus 300 underdog with the bookies. I'll probably be tempted into having a little go at Joe Joyce at those odds. You could hedge the bet and take Daniel Dubois by KO with Joe Joyce just to win the fight, because he's such a big underdog. However, I might just take Joe Joyce to win the fight very cautiously and tentatively. A small play on Joe Joyce to win the fight, plus 300 underdog. But like I say, to me it's a 50-50 fight, and at those odds I'm probably going to be tempted into taking Joe Joyce to win. Really interested in this fight. I think it's going to be an entertaining fight. I think it's going to be quite an action fight. Neither of these guys are defensively blessed. I'm expecting Joe Joyce to be able to take Daniel Dubois late in the fight and possibly stop Daniel Dubois late in the fight. Anyways, guys, that's my thoughts on the fight. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know who you guys are picking. You see any betting opportunities, let me know in the comments below. Thanks for listening, guys. Talk to you soon.